document, our courts should reflect our country. Now, isn't this something that we've talked about many times, those in the white positive sphere, where we said, and I predicted so many times, and I just wish, I was talking to somebody the other night, and I was saying, when are those people, from when I worked on the Hill, when are they going to call me to apologize for every time they said that, oh, no, that's not going to, that couldn't possibly happen. And even before then, when all of this is understandable and predictable, if you know what motivates an anti-white and what their objective is, it's easy then to see. You have to understand a little bit about human nature, but you can apply that, and then you can make these predictions yourself. And you can see, you don't have to have a crystal ball unless you want to say you have the crystal Eindelen, and that's how you see the future. Maybe that's how it works. But the reality is that I could say back in the day, I could say, well, right now they're making the argument that, oh, it's the minority that we have to coddle and care for and make sure that their rights are not trampled upon, and it doesn't. The majority's rights are totally illegitimate. They're totally unimportant. And I said, you just wait and see. This is just a pretext. You just wait and see. When they are the numerical majority, when it's all these different non-white, anti-white groups together, and of course, not every non-white person is anti-white. We have many non-white people who support, there should be many more, who support white well-being. But when these groups are numerically superior, or they're coming to that point of becoming numerically superior relative to us, then it will suddenly be the right of the majority suddenly is what matters. And indeed, I was vindicated to a degree in some of these conversations when I was able to finally find out the kind of arguments that were being made against our people in South Africa, where we built Western civilization, and then the anti-whites used against our people there because they allowed in far more non-white people than the percentage of white people. And they said, oh, this majority now, they need to have their way. It's the majority is how democracy works. Then it's the majority. You rewind the tape of history and you hear something completely different said in Australia, in the United States, rapidly changing. You hear a completely different lie shared by the anti-whites, foisted on the population by the anti-whites. Oh no, it's the rights of the minority that have to be coddled and cared for and made sure that they're not trampled upon and they're not lost. So we have to constantly, and do you remember this? Some of you will remember in the news and entertainment media, the MP that essentially in so many words said that the politician, this is deeply ingrained in the American psyche, for those who are old enough to remember this, that the politician sometimes has to go against the will of the majority and do what's right. How many people have heard that? Write it in the live chat now if you want. If you were one of those folks that have heard that MP, and what does that presuppose? It presupposes that the majority, the white majority, is immoral, that the white majority is evil, that the white majority is what's stated is wrong. It presupposes that the white majority wants to do things to harm the non-white minorities in the country, doesn't it? You are put into this box with this MP that they write evil across the side of it, heretic across the side of it, and then the politician, the moral thing to do is for the politician to ignore the will of the majority and then do the right thing, the anti-white thing, which is to do X, Y, or Z for the non-white groups in the country. Well, my friend, that's going to go right down the garbage disposal. That's coming up. They're gonna flush that thing, that MP, quick as can be. And they're going to reverse this, and they're going to say, oh, no. You see, this is a democracy, you see. This is a democracy, and so it's the will of the majority gets their way. The politician should be doing what the majority of people want them to do. And now us anti-whites can make that argument because the majority is anti-whites. You watch. So that was the meme pathogen of one era, and there's another one coming headlong, like a set of headlights running at you, Mack truck full speed. Our courts should reflect our country. Democrats will appoint people to the bench who are committed to seeing justice be served and training each case and treating each case on its merits. We will nominate and confirm federal judges who have diverse backgrounds and experience. So in other words, non-white judges, including as public defenders, legal aid attorneys, and civil rights lawyers. So in other words, the Biden plan says we are going to further legally discriminate against white people. And of course, my interpretation is probably wrong. You have to go to Snopes, you have to go to these other places to get the proper interpretation. I encourage you all to head on over to MSNBC to get their interpretation on what I just read, or you could interpret it for yourself. Please look this document up.